Tell us why winning last night may have actually hurt the Jags.
Well, this was a case last night where last night's game was the winner was going to lose and the loser was going to win. Jacksonville wins, thereby it goes down in the draft order. Tennessee loses, it goes up in the draft order. Tennessee is now in prime position to come out of the upcoming draft with the #1 overall pick and a real chance to go get a quarterback it may need in Marcus Mariota or Jameis Winston, or go in another direction if they believe that Jack Mittenberger is the future. The Jacksonville Jaguars have Blake Bortles. They weren't going to go quarterback, but the higher pick you have, the more value you have in the draft. And even if you don't need a quarterback, you could always deal that pick to a team that does need a quarterback to get even more picks. But that victory last night will cost Jacksonville that opportunity in all probability.
Yeah, and I'm fascinated now to move the discussion to coach and general manager. As you famously said, you play to win the game.
Don't forget the hello.
Hello.
That's important.
Yeah. And it's in every coach's DNA. You can't possibly think of taking the field with the thought of losing, but from the GM standpoint, you want to get better for long term. You want to have a better draft pick. NBA teams tank. We see it. We've seen it before. What are the discussions between coach and GM in the organization when you get to a point like this?
I've never had a discussion with a GM when the season was closing down, and I had some teams that weren't very successful. Our mindset, along with the GM's mindset, and I know this for Mark, it was about winning the game. It was about learning how to win. Remember, there's a bunch of – generally you go through a couple transitions pieces. Either you got a young team that's trying to win. So everything becomes important. Now, winning a game becomes very important to these guys. Remember, this thing starts in April. It starts during the draft, the offseason, the OTAs. All these things become a part of the season begins. We're trying to win a game. Every week, you only get 16 opportunities to win a game. And I know the fans and the people say, well, you get a high-round pick. There's going to be good players, okay, by the way. Where they're picking, there's going to be a good player to pick. He might not be the fans' pick, but it doesn't matter. You're going to get you a good football player.
What's interesting here, though, is obviously Tennessee needs a quarterback.
Yes.
And there are two quarterbacks coming out in this draft, and we've heard our guys say there's a big drop-off after those two.
I agree.
So as long as you're in position to get one of those two, it's great. But if you win a game late in the season and it slips you down and you miss out on your quarterback, that can set your franchise back, too.
It's a lottery in how it all works, right? I mean, the Houston Texans last year had the #1 pick. They needed a quarterback, but there wasn't one to take, and that's the big thing. The Colts needed one. Andrew Luck's there. This year's one of those years where I think you've got the quarterback that's sitting there as the #1 pick, and that's why, for me, last night when I looked at the Jacksonville-Tennessee game, I thought Jacksonville had to win the game for what they're trying to do there and build. If I was the general manager, I'm David Caldwell, I'm sitting there and I'm talking to Coach Edwards, I'm hugging him after the game saying, we got to learn how to win because we're a young football team, just like what Coach said.
You want Blake Bortles to win a game.
Yes, absolutely.
Yeah,
it's good for Blake Bortles.
And like Coach said, there are going to be some really talented players on the defensive line and some skill guys in the 4th through 7th pick of this draft. So it's a good draft. It's not so bad for Jacksonville, but it was good theoretically for Tennessee because they will take a quarterback if they end up one of those top.
Let me understand something. We talk about the quarterback a lot.
Yeah.
Was Joe Montana a first-round pick?
No.
Was
go through many of
Was
the
Tom Brady a first-round pick?
No.
So we always get enamored with, oh, these are the only two to go.
Right.
Okay, well, I get all that.
Well, no, listen, there's a long list of guys.
Oh, I know.
Oh, yeah, I mean,
that's the trick.
You know what I'm saying?
We're
Yeah.
done in 3 years.
Yeah.
So it really does. The onus falls on you.
Yeah.
And the scouting department and everybody to come together and to find that diamond in the rough, and then the coach to develop him
and put him in the system.
So there you go, fans. You don't want to root for losses late in the season to help your draft position. You really don't. Winning becomes a mindset, as losing does as well.